Hello there! Today I will show you how to play this independent Carcassonne game, the Hunters and Gatherers. Let's go a few thousand years back in time. Where the town of Carcassonne stands now, hunters, gatherers, and mammoths lived then. Before starting the game, create stacks of the regular land tiles separately from the special Menhirtiles stack and place the starting tile in the middle of the table. One of each player's meeple needs to be put on the scoreboard, which needs to be put far away from the starting tile. Maybe not that far. Everyone should take the rest of the meeple and the huts in their chosen color. Put the covering markers and the scoring markers aside. You will only need them in special cases. After the youngest player starts, the play continues clockwise. You start your turn by drawing a regular land tile and continue the existing landscape with it. After placing the tile, you can choose to put exactly one meeple or hut on it, or nothing at all. If it shows a river which is not taken by another player yet, you may put a meeple as a fisher on it. If you close a river by ending it on both sides, you shall count the scores. The player who owns the river receives 1 point for each tile comprising the completed river, and an additional one for each fish in the river and the lakes closing the river. If more meeple are on the river, the majority receives points. In case more players have the same amount of meeple, they all get the total amount. After having scored the closed river, the players receive their meeple back from the river. Instead of a meeple, you can choose to place a hut on your tile if the rivers and lakes in the river system have no other huts on them yet. The huts stay until the end of the game and will bring you points then. You have another choice if after placing the tile you see part of a forest on it, which is not taken by another player yet. In that case, you may put a meeple as a gatherer on it. If you close a forest, the player who owns the forest receives 2 points for each tile comprising the completed forest. If more meeple are on the same forest, the majority receives points. In case more players have the same amount of meeple, they all get the total amount. After having scored the closed forest, the players receive their meeple back from the forest. If after scoring the forest you find a menhir in it, the player who completed the forest may draw a special menhir tile, continue the existing landscape with it, and place a meeple or hut if they wish. There are some menhir tiles that give special actions to the player immediately and some at the end of the game. After placing any tile, you may lay a meeple as a hunter on the grassland if it is not taken by another player yet. The animals on the grass will bring you scores at the end of the game. When the last regular land tile is placed, the game ends. Incomplete forests and rivers bring no points. However, each river system brings points to their owner after all the fish in the rivers and lakes. And in each grassland, the player who owns the grassland will receive 3 points for each mammoth, 2 points for each auroch, and 1 for each deer, unless there are saber-toothed tigers on the grass, because they each eat 1 deer. You can use the covering markers to cover 1 deer for each saber-toothed tiger before you score the grassland. If more meeple are on the grassland, the majority receives points. In case more players have the same amount of meeple, they all get the total amount. Now you may congratulate the player with the most points as they win the game. I congratulate them too and wish you all the best for the next game.